Hello, hello, welcome to your Pick a Card reading. So today I have 3 different card piles for you, all based on what your love life is trying to teach you right now. So as we go through our life, we are constantly learning new lessons from all different avenues and sources from our life. So today we are looking into what particular lessons your love life has been trying to teach you about how you can connect more fully and deeply with the people around you. So go ahead and intuitively pick between pile 1, 2, or 3. There may be messages for you in just one pile, a couple of piles, or all 3 piles, so trust your intuition to guide you to which messages are meant for you and leave the ones that aren't behind because those are probably meant for somebody else. So for pile 1, we have a really nice rose quartz heart. Got good clarity in here, nice little blush pink color. For pile 2, there is a dried heart flower from my bleeding heart bush that I planted and grew in my house myself. And these are a much more vibrant pink when they first bloom, but I've had this flower for a couple of years now. In pile number 3, you have a Mangano Calcite, and this one will actually fluoresce a really bright pink color under a black light. So there are your piles. If you need a little bit more time to pick, go ahead and pause the video now, but without further ado, I'm going to get into pile number 1. All right, welcome pile 1. You guys picked the rose quartz heart. So rose quartz is probably one of the most standard love stones out there. When I worked in a crystal store, everyone wanted rose quartz. And so it's primarily a stone that works through self-love. So the greater capacity we have to love ourselves, the greater capacity we have to love others and also allow others to love us in turn. So that's your stone. I also picked a fortune cookie fortune for each of these piles, and you got traveling more often is important for your health and happiness, which is actually really interesting with the first tarot card that you got, which is the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is about movement. All of the knights deal with things happening quickly. They're moving from one place to another. With it being in the suit of swords, it's usually a mental one, but with travel coming up, this could also even be air travel as well. So flying somewhere. So not just taking little local vacations, but actually going to brand new places and experiencing just the different ways that people live in different parts of the world, the culture, the experience, all of that kind of stuff. So in your love life, it could be that you're currently in a relationship that is going to teach you the importance of travel, or because, there are a couple of different ways you can read tarot, it could even be mental travel as well. So somebody who's really good at helping you kind of see things from a different perspective, kind of like going to a different country or traveling would. It's like you see things through new eyes, so you understand the world a little bit better and realize that things are not quite as rigid as we sometimes think that they are. The clarifying card for this is the Seven of Swords in reverse. So again, 2 in the suit of swords. 7 of Swords when it's upright is about hidden, secret, kind of schemy type energy. With it being in reverse, I think this is going to be somebody who's very honest. So you could be in a relationship, or you could be your next relationship will be somebody who is very honest and I think very open, and that makes traveling with them very easy because of how just kind of straightforward they are. And I feel too, if you do end up going traveling with somebody, it could be that there could be some secrets that get revealed. And it's not so much ooh, tea, yes. Although, sometimes, yes, tea. But I think more so it's we have these things that we keep hidden that when we kind of, when we're with somebody for a longer time, it's those little hidden parts of us come out, and travel sometimes gives us opportunities to let those hidden parts of us come out. Because we're in slightly different circumstances than we usually are. Okay, so for your internal side here, you have the King of Swords. So interesting, a lot of sword energy here. It could even be that you are really wanting to travel, so that's the thing that you can bring into the relationship as well. And 3 of Swords, yeah, so much sword energy. You could be somebody who you're in your head a lot, and that could sometimes be good, you may be very thoughtful, but can sometimes be bad. So King of Swords and 3 of Swords. So obviously the 3 of Swords is a card that is about heartbreak. So it could be for some people you're overcoming heartbreak from a previous relationship, or You could be experiencing I'll say like a slight heartbreak in a current relationship where things aren't quite as aligned as you would like for them to be, and so you're trying to figure out how to make things more aligned. Travel could be a good one. Or again, it's like even if you're not doing larger travel, which could be in the cards for some people, but even if it's just going to like local places that you guys haven't been to, like going to a new park or visiting a new restaurant or something small that you guys can do together, I think that would be really beneficial. But for the main card being the King of Swords, the King of Swords is all about this kind of like total mastery and understanding and ability to work with this mental energy. So I really feel like for you, it's like you have a really sound head on your shoulders. Interesting with the Page of Coins in reverse here. Yeah, I feel like it's like you have a really good head on your shoulders, but sometimes I think you almost feel like you know it all, and so that can sometimes stifle some of the things that your partner or potential partners or past partners have wanted to do in the past. And that'll just be a message for some people just because I saw that connection with the court cards here. But for the most part, again, there's this energy of like really mentally getting on top of things, and that I think could even be a factor of travel. So it's like figuring things out and figuring out how you're going to do it, and mentally just like ticking all the boxes. That way it becomes easier to do moving forward. Okay. So for the external side here, you've got the Page of Coins in reverse with the Five of Swords upright. Man, so much sword energy. It's interesting you have like a 3, 5, 7, so you have like the odd numbers coming up here. So the thing that just popped into my head was like mentally at odds. So I feel like for some people in relationships, you could have kind of like conflicting ideas or conflicting mindsets with your partner. And that could be a thing that causes some issues. So I think just talking about things and trying to get on the same page, like mentally, so you both have the same goals, could help to alleviate some of that. So for one of the big themes here being travel, it's interesting that for the external partner, there's the Page of Coins in reverse. So again, it's kind of like you really want to do things, or maybe even you have things figured out, but you haven't really been with a person or found I don't want to say like found a person, but I would say like just been able to like have that energy be matched where somebody else is like, yeah, let's go, like let's do this. And with the Five of Swords being the clarifying card here, I think for some it could be kind of like phrasing for it, or it's like maybe if it was phrased a little bit differently, this person would be a little bit more on board. Or sometimes, things just need to be said a little bit differently to click with different people, or there could be a miscommunication somewhere. For other people too, it could be that this person may have negative experiences, or I would say a lack of positive experiences with this. So even though it's really important to you, it's like they haven't had those same positive experiences, so it's not quite as important to them. So this will be a specific message for some people. I feel like some people are really wanting to travel and they're trying to get their partner to come along with them, but their partner's not necessarily like being as on board. So I think, yeah, definitely for those people, phrasing and really talking and communicating about how important this is, I think would be beneficial. But just be mindful too, it's like when the Five of Cups or the Five of Swords comes up, it's like there are positives and there are negatives. So really make sure that you're listening to what they have to say about it too, and you're not just trying to override them. So communication, definitely, with all the swords coming up, is going to be key here for those people. Oh, and for other people who aren't in a relationship yet, but you've stuck around because this is really resonating for you, I think if you travel somewhere, like if you go on a little vacation, or again, if you go to, let's say, like a new coffee shop or something that you haven't been to before, I think you may find somebody who may be a little bit more aligned with your kind of get up and go attitude, because you got up and went somewhere, so you'll find somebody else who's also as likely to get up and go. Okay. So the last one here is the Four of Wands. Oh my gosh, and the Three of Wands. So the reason I said the Four of Wands like that is a marriage card. So definitely this is a very auspicious pile for a romantic reading. If you pick this pile, I do think that you will have a very stable romantic relationship, either entering into the picture very soon, or if you are already in one, this is confirmation that this is a good one, even if there are some difficulties in some slight areas here. But particularly, so we've got that. The other card with it is the Three of Wands, which is about planning. So again, if there are things that you want to do, both in your personal life and in your romantic relationship, make sure that you are planning for it. And you're also taking this other person into consideration when you are planning, so that way you can both have a shared goal to work towards, and it's more likely for that to happen together. So let's see. And the last oracle card is Ghost, which kind of came up reverse. I kind of don't read oracle cards reverse though, but I'm kind of feeling like I should read this in reverse. With this being here, I think for some people, a wound that you may have in a past relationship is if you really pushed for the things that you wanted, you were scared that the person was going to leave. I think for this, whatever it is that you really want to do, that you are willing to kind of like, kind of like push this energy along, I think if you really stand up for yourself and you really communicate why this is so important to you, I don't think this person is going to leave the way that you think they will. Yeah, and I think for other people too, if the upright version of this resonated more with you, it could be for some people that you're in a relationship that is very stifling for you. So it's like you would like to experience and do new things, but this other person feels like they're holding you back. If that is the case, it's okay if that person is no longer in your life anymore, but I feel like that is only going to be for some people. I feel like for the most part, most of the cards were positive, so I do think this is an overall positive romantic reading. All right, that is what I have for you guys, pile number 1. If this resonated, please go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you would like a personal reading, you can get those through my website. And from now through to the end of February, I'm doing a special on all of my love readings. You can get a love reading, either a 3, 6, or 9 card spread at a discount. They will be about $10+ less expensive than they usually are. So check that down below if you are interested as well. And thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. All right, welcome pile 2. You guys picked the dried bleeding heart flower. So one of the things that I said in the intro is that this used to be a lot more vibrant when I first got it, and then over the years it's kind of faded in color. So maybe that's kind of what your love life is feeling like right now. Like maybe things used to feel really fun and vibrant and exciting, and then over time they've kind of faded a little bit, whether this be in a long-term relationship or outside of one. Maybe you're just, have become disillusioned with the dating scene or the love scene in general. So, and that's kind of reflected with the first card that we have here being the 8 of Cups in reverse. So the 8 of Cups when it's upright is about an emotional journey card. It's like knowing that there is this kind of like, slight like obstacle in the way of you and happiness or the thing that you ultimately want. But when the card is upright, it's like this knowing that it's worth undertaking the journey in order to reach that fulfillment on the other side of, whatever this task is. With it being in reverse, I kind of feel like some of you people don't really feel like things are worth it anymore. Whether it be the effort or, just like having to put yourself out there or, investing time into something where somebody isn't investing that same time back. There's this energy of just not really wanting to undergo the process. And the clarifying card for that, interestingly enough, the Chariot card. So some people may really be seriously considering no longer being in the relationship that they are currently in, or kind of leaving some other kind of dynamic behind. And if that is the case for you, this reading could potentially serve as confirmation, or it could just be addressing that this is where you're at currently. So we'll see how this unfolds. But the Chariot card is about this energy. It's actually really interesting. The Chariot card comes right after the Lovers card. So the Lovers is number 6, the Chariot is number 7. And I kind of like to view the Chariot card as like after all the pieces have been set up on the board, it's like now things can finally start to go into play. So I kind of feel like and there's like the 7, 8 here. So it's like I feel like there is kind of like this energy of things not really progressing in the way that you thought they were going to. And so it's almost like because the path took you somewhere else, it's almost like kind of like this hurdle towards the destination that you're faced with. It's like, well, this isn't really where I thought I was going, so I don't really know if this is where I want to kind of put all this effort into getting to, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the current situation. So for your internal side here, you have the Ace of Coins, clarified by the Magician in reverse. So it's interesting that for the first pile, you got Minor Arcana in reverse, Major Arcana upright, and then for your internal side, it's Minor Arcana upright with the Major Arcana in reverse. So it's almost like, yeah, it's like, I think you're feeling this kind of urge to leave, but something about it is kind of like, there's something that's definitely holding you back. And it's really interesting that you got 2 1s here. So it's a 1 upright and a 1 in reverse. So it's, again, this kind of like push and pull energy. So it's like not really knowing quite where to go. It's like you're not really quite sure if you want to continue moving forward with things to see if they get better, or if you want to maybe try something new and see if that is the option for you. And I definitely see that reflected here. It's like the Ace of Coins is it's like a brand new beginning in the physical realm of things. So this is like, you know, things looking different, the things you're interacting with on a day-to-day basis looking different. But the Major Arcana, the Magician being in reverse, is almost like on a soul level, things are staying the same. So I think that's kind of what you're worried about, is like you're worried that if you leave, you may end up in a different relationship and things are almost the exact same. Like, you know, it's like you just gave up this long-term thing with this person in order for the same issues, and then it's like, oh no, it was actually me kind of type thing. So for the external side here, we have the Page of Swords with the Ace of Pentacles upright. Very interesting. So 2 Ace of Pentacles upright on both sides of the deck. So it could be that both people in this party are wanting something new. And it could be for some people, again, because this is kind of like evenly matched, it could be that both people in the relationship, if you are in one, are feeling this kind of stagnancy. So it could be that both of you are wanting things to feel new and fresh and exciting, and for things to feel, just kind of put a little bit of spark, a little bit of life, a little bit of color back into things. But there could be like not necessarily knowing how to do that, or kind of like what steps would be necessary in order to get there, but there's the desire to do this. So with the Page of Swords being the first card here, it's like, I think it's almost like because you have the Magician in reverse and they have the Page upright, it could even be that another person or the other person in your relationship will be the person that kind of has this new idea that will end up working for the both of you. If you are not in a relationship, I do think this will be somebody else asking you out on a relationship, or like asking you out on a date, or somebody else kind of making the first move here. So it's like, again, it's like I wouldn't say not really being able to, but it's like with how your life is planned out, it's like this sense of newness is coming from an external source, supposedly. Okay, and so the cards at the bottom here, so the lesson or reason behind why this is the particular combination of cards that came out today and why this is what we ended up talking about. You've got the 5 of Coins in reverse and the Hierophant also in reverse, so 2 5s. So it's really interesting. You've got a lot of mirroring going on here, which I feel like could be happening in your relationship, or again, romantic life in general will be mirroring. So it's kind of like a lot of the things that you're seeing in other people are a lot of the things that you have in yourself, and vice versa. So especially if you're being really picky with other people, make sure that those aren't traits that you yourself hold. But in general here, it's really interesting that it's the 5s in reverse. The number 5 in numerology signifies change. So it's like there's this want for change, but also this kind of like stagnancy or like blockage towards change. But I think ultimately boils down to like, it's like this, again, it's like the minor arcana, major arcana thing. It's like almost like there's this like distinction between like what your soul is wanting and what you think would be physically good for your life. I think it's like when you recognize that both of those things are acting in harmony with each other. So it's like these little impulses that you get inside you, that is some part of your subconscious trying to guide you, and your life moving forward. So I think in some way recognizing that would be good. As well as it's almost like there's some key thing that's missing. To me, the Hierophant card represents kind of like a key piece of information that comes from like an institution, a place that's been studying something for a really long time. With it being in reverse here, it could be that if you guys looked into like, I don't want to say like professional help, but it's like, that could be the case for some people, but I think there's almost like just kind of like one key little tidbit or one key little thing that it's like once it's like you guys figure out what this thing is, it's like it'll make a lot of other things kind of click and make sense moving forward. And it's the mystery card in reverse. It's almost like, I feel like kind of what this is really obvious too. Like, I feel like it's like, almost like you guys are looking, it's like there's almost like this seeking for something that's deeper or hidden, almost kind of like I'm doing in the cards right now, when what's really here I think is going to be really right at the surface. So I think ultimately if you are looking for things to feel a little bit more exciting in your love life, I think kind of like bringing something new into your life and allowing other people to, like, we'll say offer you suggestions or offer input, or like almost just like learning to receive. I think it's like learning to receive from other people, or kind of go with the flow with what other people are kind of offering to you too. Yeah, rather than necessarily thinking that you always have to be in control of things. So all right, that's what I have for you guys, pile number 2. If this resonated with you, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you want a personal reading, you can get that through my website. And from now all the way through to the end of February, I am doing a really big discount on love readings for Valentine's Day. So you can get basically $10+ off a love reading, and I'll do either 3, 6, or 9 card spreads, and those will all be sent out via video. So thank you so much. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and good luck in your romantic journey. Bye. Hello, pile 3. You guys picked the Mangano Calcite. So calcite in general is a really good like clearing stone, and this one glows in the dark, which I just think is really cool. Or it doesn't glow in the dark, sorry, it fluoresces under a black light. I love all the black light stones. I just think those are super cool. So I think you guys are looking for something that like kind of just like pops, you know? It's like, especially with the 3 of Swords card coming up first, I think a lot of you who were drawn to this pile, you may currently be experiencing a heartbreak or just went through a breakup, or we'll say like a rejection of some sort within a romantic relationship. And I feel like you guys are like kind of looking for something that shines a little brighter, looks a little bit nicer, and kind of just like, it's like almost like if you've had a lot of dark times in love, it's like you're looking for something that kind of like helps to bring you out of that. Or it's like, you know, the thing that it's like the shining light in the darkness, like the silver lining kind of type thing. And so the first card that we have here is the 3 of Swords. So the 3 of Swords is about like heartbreak or disappointment. So I feel like in your romantic life, you're currently experiencing some kind of disappointment, whether this be in like while you're currently in a relationship, or maybe you just recently left or got out of a relationship in some way or another. Or again, for some people, frustration with trying to get into a relationship and that not really working out. There's this feeling of like emotional defeat, and mentally it's kind of getting to you too. The clarifying card for this is the 10 of Wands in reverse. So this is kind of interesting. It's like the 10 of Wands when it's upright is about like having too much on your plate. With it being in reverse, it's kind of saying that it's like, it's almost like if there were a lot of things going on, now it's like a lot of these things have just kind of like left your plate. I almost feel like it's like this, like again, for some people, it's like that to me would signify like the ending of a relationship that just happened or could be about to happen. Like maybe you are just exhausted, your partner isn't helping you, and so kind of this is the thing that has to happen for your mental well-being. But in general, there's this feeling of like disappointment, and like it's like either not having the energy to do something, or just like having done so much about something and now you're kind of on the burnout side of that. So for the internal side here, you've got the 9 of Cups with the Ace of Wands in reverse. So the 9 of Cups is about emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. So it's good that this is upright. So I feel like for even though this initial pile here was, you know, a little heavy, Like, I definitely wanted to make sure I worded this correctly, so I didn't potentially hurt somebody. But on the personal side, there is this feeling of emotional fulfillment and completion and satisfaction. So I feel like whatever this situation is, I do think ultimately it's like this current situation is teaching you how to be more happy or how to be happier in your life. The Clarified card with it is the Ace of Wands in reverse. So for some people, if you are thinking of ending a relationship, this is saying to hold off on that for the time being. You know, obviously, live your life as you want to live your life. But for some people, it could be that there is an issue in relationships where it's like when things kind of get hard, you'll kind of immediately drop them rather than putting in the work to try to like renew what's happening or kind of like invest time in like repairing the relationship. Because so much of a good relationship is rupture and repair. So it's like the stronger or the more you guys can come back together where it's like, okay, this thing isn't working, but I really want this to work. What do we both collectively need to do in order to get this kind of back on track? The better relationship can last in the long run. But if you keep kind of ending relationships and then jumping to new ones, it loses that chance for that rupture and repair. So that's only going to be for some people. For other ones, it's like if this did happen, if let's say this is the ending of a relationship, I think your spirit guides really want you to take time to focus on you for the time being and kind of just like getting some emotional fulfillment and like, just kind of like making yourself happy before you invite somebody new into the picture. And that'll only be for some people, obviously, depending on your specific circumstances. So for the external side here, we have the 3 of Coins with the 5 of Wands in reverse. So 3 of Coins, when it's upright, is about kind of like teamwork and cooperation. And this one is upright, although this person is in reverse. So it's interesting that there's the upright and reverse here. So it's almost like there's this energy of like, in order for things to kind of like work together, it's like this energy of compromise. So it's like one person doesn't necessarily always get exactly what they want, but they do have to be willing to like make that sacrifice from time to time. And especially here with the 5 of Wands in reverse, the 5 of Wands is about avoiding conflict. So it could be that it's like for some people in a relationship, I think there could be something here of like, this is going to be specific. It's almost like you're feeling disappointed because it feels like this other person will never kind of like gather up their wands. It's like they can't be bothered or burdened by anything, so they'll just kind of give in to a lot of things. And again, that'll be specific for some people, but in general, there's this energy here of externally, it's like needing to work together with other people in order to avoid conflict. And I think that in general creates for a very fulfilling environment where it's like there's this energy of collaboration rather than like antagonistically each trying to get what they want. It's like working together for the collective relationship. Okay. Oh my gosh, and for the bottom here, you got the Devil card and the Star card. So 2 major arcanas, which are the only 2 major arcanas in the reading here. So this bottom position is the ultimate lesson or reason behind why these particular cards came up and why we're talking about them and why this came up in your love reading. So I think right now, one of the things that your romantic life is trying to teach you is kind of like these bad habits that you have around love. The Devil card actually has the 2 lovers from the Lovers card chained. Usually there's like a little altar beneath him, but either way, it's like he's binding the 2 people from the Lovers card. So with it being here, it's kind of like recognizing the things that are holding you back from engaging in a fulfilling, happy relationship. And the Star card is about purpose. So it's like there is some big reason behind all of this. Like, I feel like at the core of this, it's like once you can figure out what this is, it's like your relationships are going to work a lot better in general. It's like if you can find the source of this disappointment and why it feels like there's not this motivation to want to continue, or why it feels like it's almost like, it's like the thing that I'm hearing is like not quite worth the effort. And it's like, what is it? It's like there's wanting to like find something. Let me see here. And you got the Caution card in reverse. I'm going to go ahead and pull a clarifying card for this. I feel like there's like one extra thing it really wants me to say about this. So the Star card is it's almost like this feeling of like working through these like really dark, heavy cards, and then it's like you find this thing that you can give back. It's like you see how the woman is like pouring water back into this pond. It's like, I feel like it's like, oh gosh, I feel like there's one, like, sorry, there's like one thing it wants me to say. The Moon card, interesting. So transitions. Yeah, I feel like there's definitely a big healing thing that's happening right here for you, just in this whole situation. I think in general, it's like you had some bad patterns that were showing up within your relationships that I think some of these themes touched on or at least hinted at within your own life. And if you can figure out the core reason of why these keep happening to you, I feel like this is kind of like a repeating pattern for some people. I feel like once you can figure that out, it's like something's gonna click and things are gonna go a lot better for you. And you're gonna rebuild too. It's like, so there's the Devil, and then there's like the Tower, and then there's the Star card, and then after the Star is the Moon. So you're only missing card 16 here in the sequence. So it's like, you know, after things get difficult, there is a period of time where things feel hopeful again, and then there's rebuilding. So, you know, there is the Tower card missing here. So again, for some people, if you are feeling disappointed in a relationship, don't end it. Please do like try to invest in this, because I think this is going to be a very fulfilling relationship for you, and there is some big lesson to learn here in this process, even if it doesn't end up working out forever. But I really do think that there is like something major happening for you, and if you can tap into what specifically is happening for you, again, because these are general readings, I can't get into everyone's specific details, but there is something happening, and once you can tap into that, I think there is going to be a huge, tremendous breakthrough for you in your love life. And the Caution card is the Oracle card in reverse, so definitely do not be overly cautious, especially with this coming up over here. If you have something that you need to do for your own personal happiness, don't diminish that in order to avoid a fight with somebody else. You need to stand up for you. So that is what I have for you guys. Pile number 3. If this resonated with you, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you would like a personal reading, that is available through my website, which I have linked down below. And from now through the end of February, I'm doing a special on all love readings. So I have 3, 6, and 9 card romantic spreads, and those are going to be $10+ off. So definitely a good deal if you catch it. So thank you guys so much. I wish you so much love, luck, and success on your coming romantic journey, and I hope you have a good one. Bye.